Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have two candidates where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole fucking list of shit that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do a land grab. Basically what you have been seeing the last few years, major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day food.
Hey guys, today we're reacting to Florida farmers who are seeking help because their crops are in need of help. They're in need of workers, and since immigration deported the workers, now it is what it is. Choices have consequences as usual. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's see what other people's reactions were.
So I just saw a video of a farmer in Florida who states that Donald Trump is the best president in his lifetime and that he supports Ron DeSantis 100%, but he's begging these migrant workers, these undocumented workers, to not leave because he's going bankrupt. All these farmers are going bankrupt. All these contractors are going bankrupt because everybody's left. Because this law that they just passed makes it illegal. Like if I'm working with someone who's undocumented and I'm giving them a ride home and get pulled over, I can get arrested. Not just can they get sent back, they can arrest me. And then the farmers are trying to say, oh, it's been misread and it's been lied to in the press and don't believe it. They're panicking big time. They have fucked around and they are in the find out stage. And I just think it is it's beautiful. It's delicious. It's just chef's kiss. Just seeing how this farmer panic and seeing him trying to talk to, he'd say something and then the interpreter would repeat it. And the things this guy was saying are not the kind of things that are going to keep undocumented workers here. There's plenty of work for them wherever they want to go. There are a lot of jobs that Americans don't want to do that undocumented workers can get. And there are a lot of places where they're appreciated instead of persecuted. So I just think it's hilarious that they're finding out now that there's going to be some serious consequences to this. And wait till you find out what tomatoes are going to cost in 6 months. R.T. Gargiulo has a huge tomato. Most of the tomatoes in the United States are grown in Southwest Florida. And they have a huge tomato operation there. And they don't have any workers. And it's going to be bad. There's literally strawberries and things like that rotting on the vine or on the plant. They can't get anyone to come and work. They got what's coming to them, and I just think it's beautiful. I hope it bankrupts them. I hope it bankrupts every goddamn one of them. Every single right-wing rich guy that supported all this hateful stuff, supported all this anti-trans stuff in this fight with Disney. I'm just loving this. And I'm loving, it's going to be great because in about 6 months, this is really going to hit. And that's just when Ron DeSantis is going to be really trying to hit the campaign trail. Enjoy your finding out, Ron. You're going to find out a lot.
Someone asked me the other day, why is it that more of America's farmers have not yet turned on Trump? After all, he's cut farm-to-table programs, he's cut farm-to-school lunch programs, he's cut all kinds of funding for, structural improvements, drainage, climate resilience programs. He's cut all kinds of grant funding for farmers all across this country. He's cut USAID that has cost America's farmers billions. Ask farmers in Nebraska how they're doing right now. We are seeing silos full of corn and wheat and sorghum that go unsold. The United States government had promised to buy these crops, and then they pulled the contracts because Elon Musk gutted USAID. And all of this food, not just grains, but also milk that is turned into powdered milk, that was meant to go and secure our interests abroad and feed hungry people, is now sitting unsold in the United States of America, and that is hurting our farmers. Why are more of them not pissed off? And somebody else said, well, why are more farmers not freaking out that all of their migrant labor is being snatched by ICE? We are seeing ICE running into farm fields, snatching migrants who are toiling, picking our food, the food to feed the American people. They are coming in and tackling and snatching these folks, abducting them, and stuffing them into detention facilities where billions of our taxpayer money is going to keep these people imprisoned. And someone in my comments who was from the Midwest said, oh, don't you understand, in a lot of these states, especially a lot of the grain farmers and dairy farmers, they don't actually use that much immigrant labor. If they have very mechanized, agricultural setups on their farms, then they're not really interfacing that much with migrant labor. And yes, I totally understand, for those folks who are growing large amounts of soybeans and grains, that makes sense. If you don't have to interact with brown people on a regular basis, you can dehumanize them more easily. You can justify what Trump is doing more easily. But there are farmers all around the country that rely heavily, heavily on migrant labor, especially where I am on the West Coast. And they are about to feel the hurt real bad. It's starting to be that time of year where more and more crops need to be picked. And while it was an issue earlier in the year, like in Florida and Southern California, we saw a little bit of farm laborers who didn't want to show up to pick strawberries and broccoli and citrus because they were worried about ICE. Well, now we are seeing the Republicans in Congress. Republicans are now the fascist party of this country, right? They are fully consolidated as a fascist party. They have now agreed to take billions of our tax dollars and expand ICE tenfold. The Republicans in Congress have now given Donald Trump $150 billion of our hard-earned tax money to create his own massive secret police force, his own Gestapo that will be terrorizing communities all over the country. There's $150 billion for raids, but $0 for Medicaid. Do not forget that Republicans did that. Republicans did that to all of us. And so now we are seeing a tenfold increase in the completely rational fear of our hardworking migrant farm workers who feed this nation. And guess what? Farmers all around the country, right at a time when cherries and soon plums and peaches and all kinds of other crops around the country are coming ripe, crops that by and large need to be picked and sorted by hand. There's a massive farm labor shortage because workers are terrified that they are going to be snatched off the job, that while they are working, someone will snatch them out of the field and they will never see their families again. I'd like to point you to a piece from Spokane Public Radio from last week. It's called "Fear of ICE Causes Labor Shortage for Washington Cherry Growers." We've had 200 years of migrant farm workers in this country traveling from Mexico up the West Coast, following the picking season, to harvest our food. Now, we've also had 200 years of abusing those farm workers, exploiting them, refusing to pay them a living wage or giving them safe work conditions. Yes, one of the things I've said previously is that I hope at the end of all of this, one of the things that comes out of this is that we understand the people who pick our food, they deserve dignity, they deserve a living wage, they deserve safe working conditions. They also deserve justice, and the people who are doing this to them deserve accountability. What we're seeing is a lot of the stone fruit pickers up here in Oregon and Washington, they come up from California and they are afraid to make that drive. They're afraid that there will be checkpoints where they will get abducted. They're afraid once they get here that they will be abducted by ICE. And so they're hiding. I can only imagine what kind of food insecurity that creates for their families. So the Spokane Public Radio piece talks about how the cherry picking labor shortage in Washington state is reaching a crisis point. They interview a woman named Rosa Hernandez, who is picking cherries at an orchard in Wenatchee. She was one of the few who was willing to make the drive from California to Washington to pick this year. She did so because she's an American citizen. But she said even though she is a U.S. citizen, she was terrified to make the drive because she's a brown person. We are seeing ICE doesn't give a shit about your citizenship. If you look like you could potentially be an immigrant or have immigrant ancestry, if you happen to have any kind of an accent, if you speak Spanish, they don't care, they will snatch you. And there's no oversight for you. There's no protection for you right now. She talks about how she did the long drive up to Washington state and she was afraid to pull over at rest stops to go pee because they have heard that ICE agents are waiting at rest stops. They're waiting at gas stations to snatch people. One of the farmers that they interviewed said that he's really terrified they can't get people to pick their cherries and that impacts the financing of their farm. So when you couple the fact that fruit is rotting on the tree with the cuts in grant programs and the volatile economic circumstances in the United States, he's worried that what we're going to see is by next year, more and more farms will be going under. Even Fox News for Seattle, even Fox News is covering this story, saying the growers are not just worried about cherries. They are worried that these labor shortages will extend to apples, grapes, and many other fruits that are grown in Washington state, also grown here in Oregon. Fox News called immigrant farm workers essential to our agricultural system. They said growers across central Washington say fears of immigration enforcement and potential ICE raids are keeping workers away from the field and are currently threatening to leave millions and millions of dollars worth of cherries unpicked, rotting on the trees. The Fox News story went on to interview migrants who said they are scared to show up and that the fear will compound. It will get worse and worse as ICE escalates. And then interestingly enough, there's a whole section in this article for Fox News readers that is called Why You Should Care. Not surprisingly, maybe. It doesn't say you should care because what is being done to our immigrant farm workers is inhumane, it's cruel, it's illegal, it's terrible, it's an ethnic cleansing in the United States. No. Why you should care, Fox News reader, is because Washington state is the nation's top producer of sweet cherries. And if the fruit is not being picked, that means that there is going to be a shortage and prices are going to go up. Even a delay, even if there's just a delay in picking, fruit is rotting on the tree. Fruit is an ephemeral crop, y'all. Fruit can't just sit there hanging out. You have to pick it when it's ripe. And so any delay, any shortage of labor for any period of time is immediately lost revenue. Now, this piece came out right before the big bloated budget bill got passed by Republicans in Congress. And, the Fox News take is hopefully lawmakers will consider the long-term economic impact of the agricultural labor force and even revisit immigration reform. I don't know how to make Republicans care about immigrants. I don't know how to make them have compassion and a conscience. I don't know how to make them be moved by the suffering that is being inflicted by our government right now. I don't know how to make them care about anything but their own pocket, their own personal suffering, their own negative experiences. And you could say at some point there's going to be such a severe shortage of labor on our farms that people are going to go hungry. It's going to impact the economy. And then folks will start to care. They will want things like immigration reform. I hope so. But also I am quite worried that this massive expansion of ICE abductions to 3,000 people a day, 3,000 non-criminals a day that are being stuffed into these concentration camps, that those will become forced labor camps. We've already seen Trump say that multiple times, that people in detention camps could be lent back to the farmers. But as of right now, it looks like there is going to be a shortage of all kinds of crops that are coming ripe over the next several weeks. It looks like there's going to be a shortage of what is available in the stores. There will be increased prices. Until we stop it, there will be increasing food shortages. Until we stop it, there will be increasing human rights violations. Until we stop it, there will be hundreds of billions of our tax dollars being used to inflict suffering, to fund the American Gestapo, not only terrorizing our country, but weakening our food supply and our entire nation.
You know what concerns me is people are affected by Trump's admin, but they keep supporting his administration. Why? You're affected by it negatively, clearly, but there's still some who are, yay, we're still for Trump and for life, let's make America great again.
There's stories all over the internet about farmers going bankrupt across the country. And I want you to know, I want to feel sorry for you. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to care at all. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because typically I have empathy, but I'm really, really tired of telling you farmers and you people that are in rural parts of the United States, I'm tired of telling you what your vote does to you. Yeah, I mean, you guys in the red states, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're broke. You don't have any money. West Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, you get my point. You're broke. And yet you keep voting for the Republican Party that wants nothing to do with you. And farmers, guess what? You're included. But you keep voting red, and now you want me to feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I just can't. Since the election, everyone has reminded me that I thought Kamala Harris was going to win. Everyone has reminded me that she didn't win and Donald Trump won. I've seen it over and over and over again. But what I also said was, if Donald Trump did win, it would be a disaster for farmers and oil workers. Because last time Donald Trump was president, it was a disaster for farmers and oil workers. Now, he really hasn't gotten to oil workers yet. But hey, farmers, how you doing? Yeah, you see, the last time Donald Trump was president, over 100,000 farms went belly up in America. So here he runs for president again, and what do you farmers do? Yeah, you vote for him again. And I don't understand why, but it's one of those cases where you effed around, and now you're going to find out again. Because apparently he didn't do enough damage the first time. You wanted to see it a second time. So here we are.